It's not a hospital, it's a church.
Guys,
It's a church.
at a hospital you need to be discharged.
What do you guys want? Do you want the members to stay, or do you want the members to just listen to you and what you're saying and then go home?
You're going to overcompensate.
Yes.
It's on a show. So when you do that gathering of all the youth together in one place, there will be something that you do that you haven't consulted them on. Right? Because it's not a consultative process in its nature. That you just put it together and you hope that because you've done this overcompensation, they will like it. And they don't like it.
If you see a poster of this group there, and then you go there and you hear this group doing what they're known for, and then you're going to complain, I have a problem with you because you saw it.
Problem here.
And also you paid, knowing very well that this group is going to be there. That's my thing.
Alright. Hello everybody and welcome. This is the Advent Pod SA and today we are doing something unique, a roundtable discussion. I'm Kahanis Dubani, aka Kahi by nature Unconventional. I'll let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
I am Nanne by nature.
Wow.
I'm Nanne Mwedi.
Yes.
And I'm Zibula. Welcome guys, just Zibula. Well, I'm the resident pastor of Advent Pork.
And you don't see me, I'm Pidane.
Yes.
The guy that people don't see, like.
Hallelujah.
So today we just thought of doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, some current affairs, some deliberations. Obviously some themes will come through as we talk, but this is largely unscripted, but it has a direction, right? So if you're watching, then you would like to learn more of some of the things that we do as young people in this church to entertain ourselves with the Lord, you're more than welcome to join us. Please do make sure that you like before you watch the video, comment, we are here, comment just there, we are here, and then obviously share this with friends if you want to have a good laugh. Right. Guys,
Hello, sir.
what's happening? What's happening in church? What's happening?
Guys, it's giving GC vibes.
Ooh, a lot is going on. A lot is going on. I just have a question though for you guys. Do you think the church entertains young people enough? For a while? Should we be seeking to be entertained by the church?
Is the church supposed to be entertaining?
What is entertaining?
What
I need
What is entertainment to start with?
Is the church supposed to be
fun.
fun? Yeah, I think it should be fun.
It's supposed to not be boring.
It mustn't be boring. I don't think we want to go to church if it's boring.
Yeah.
But neither should it be fun. I don't know.
I think it can be fun in the sense that your programs aren't boring. So that could be fun. You know, your programs are captivating, your programs get us thinking, your programs get us wanting to come back the next week, you know, or even engage in the weekly prayers, if there's weekly prayers or weekly programs, you know, the Wednesday prayers. And if I ask you today to participate, I would do it because you've created a space where I feel safe and I have fun and I'm like, I can invite my family. So yeah, I guess it's supposed to be.
Interesting. And you have
But then, I don't know, should we really call it fun or spiritually uplifting? Because I don't think fun and spiritual upliftment are the same thing. I don't know.
I think
I'm
I
just
think
throwing it
it
out
comes
there.
to the definition of fun.
Yeah,
What is fun?
that's an interesting question.
everybody has a different definition of fun.
Yeah.
That's another thing. So I can say fun for me is going to church and singing all the nice Christian, our gospel songs or whatever, and for me that's fun. For you it could be a sermon. Or for you it could be the afternoon discussion. So fun is very subjective.
Yeah, it's relative. It's relative. But I think in this context, what we're seeing is there's a trend, right? There's what we call the post-Christian unreached window, where young people mostly have either left any form of Christian religion and they've tapped into secularism or atheism or agnosticism, whatever it's the religion of the nuns. I don't have a thing that I call religion.
Yeah.
So in that space, then what we realize is that most, if not all, of these people turn to activities or environments or social places and social or societies that have fun activities that are geared and that are marketed towards them. All right. So I'm then asking, because as much as you want to say we need to be spiritually uplifted, we need to have a plan to target young people so that they can be spiritually uplifted.
Yeah.
So I'm then asking, where in the church are we losing the element of creating that for young people? Are we losing it at all? Is there fun, but we're not probably marketing it well? Because yes, the church is a mission entity, but it's also a business.
So talking about the target market, well, I believe that also at the same time, if Mercedes-Benz, for an example, is advertising and advocating for their brand, all right, and they're going to a target market that might not afford a Mercedes-Benz, they can't go with a Toyota vehicle on their advert to say, here is a vehicle that you can drive for those who can't. But at the same time, I mean, you call yourselves, Mercedes-Benz. So I think we first of all need to define what church is. Okay, so church is a company of believers who believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus, and they also believe in being saved by grace and, in the process of sanctification in preparation for glorification. I know I've said it a whole lot there, but a church is not a drive, okay? A church is not a hiking club. A church is not a Stockfell. A church is not, a place where you come and jolly and have fun, in a sense. It's not a disco. It's not a concert. So I think we need to clear out what church is not and what church is and what the mission of the church is. And I think in that way, then it's going to help us know as to whether, in terms of the target market and our goal setting, whether we have, achieved whatever we're advocating for.
So I think, right, I agree with you, totally agree, but it goes back to why we have children's church. And when you have back in your space, why there's children's church, which is also the vocational Bible thing that they do during the holidays, why they have that, because you must know your target, right? Because in the marketing space, you must know from 10 to 15, this is how you need to approach these kids. From this age to this is how you approach these kids. So I think they're not marketing the gospel or the church in a sense that it accommodates the people of that age. So when I say that, I'm saying that you can't go with to people who are over 40. They're not gonna understand it. But if it's to the 20s to the 35, you kind of like, they're like, okay, tell me more about this God, because it's a bit in their era, right? So I think, I'm not saying make it worldly, no, I'm not saying it's worldly, but make it interesting enough for us to then engage in it.
Sure.
You can't have conversations where it's just a speaker, and you don't get them to engage. With us, we want you to, present to us, yes, but give us the opportunity to then give you feedback on what you presented. So it's a thing of we need to know our target market and how to reach the target market. And for you to know that is to have people in spaces that are, let's say 10 to 15, have an 18-year-old be the one to come and talk to them because they relate to them. So have people who relate to them to then bring this gospel out. And I guess if you have that, then it will then be fun or the entertainment of the church and the gospel.
And look, I know I know there have been warnings against seeking entertainment in worldly forms. But I think it has been mentioned even in some of the meetings that have just recently been happening that there's an age group or a youth segment that is currently not being catered for fully by the church in as far as programming and strategic planning is concerned. And that age group is the young adult working class segment, because they are neither in that phase where they can march every Sunday, going to they can't do that. And
or go camping.
Go camping, forestry, whatever kind of thing. But also they are in a very critical age in their lives where there's a lot of decision making that needs to happen. Some of you are deciding who you want to marry, some of you are deciding where you want to work, some of you are deciding which car you want to buy. All these things, like there's a lot of decisions that are happening rapidly. And there's not really a focused effort to say these guys.
How can we help them?
And these are the guys that are leaving the church the fastest.
Yes.
Yeah, but that I understand. We can have like a career expo, which doesn't really go against the Bible. But like, hear me out, Nanne, before you call me out on this. Listen.
I feel like don't use career expo because career expo is once in a while.
Okay.
What is it that as a young working class I look forward to outside Sabbath service?
Exactly. So I'm saying have something in place every Sabbath or every second Sabbath where you include the young adults in a sense that, okay, you guys are struggling with financial stuff. Here's somebody who can help you with the financial stuff. A career expo once a day.
But
I want it to
guys,
be a continuous thing.
I feel like we're diverting here. We're talking about fun and church. Fun and church. Yes, but here's my point. Hear me out here. You spoke about the elements that are missing, okay, in the lives of young people that need to be filled up by the church, right? But now, here's the thing. Groove. You can't really say because groove is not what our young people are not doing, or groove is something that young people are doing more often than anything else. Therefore, church is going to be boring. Therefore, let's make it groovy for them. It's like you vegan, right? And you can't say because I'm vegan, I'm making vegan chicken. Then in a sense, you're telling us that you don't eat chicken, but you still have chicken cravings. So you are feeding chicken cravings in a healthier way, or you're having vegan steak.
I have an alternative to that. What if my pursuit of that is a pursuit of an alternative?
But don't call it that then.
I mustn't call it that.
Don't call it that.
Cool.
I have a problem with that.
Don't shape your meat in such a way that it looks like steak and it tastes like steak.
I have a
but
problem
it's
with
not,
calling
it's not
stuff,
steak.
right? I have a problem with calling stuff. I was talking to one of my friends recently. He says to me, if I slap you, you slap me back. I slap you, you slap me back. And someone asks, did you guys fight? And we say no. Right? People's definition of things are very abstract. They are very personal and everything. I don't care about how you define things. I want the context. What is happening? Right? That's what's important to me. Because I can choose to define things however I want to define them and be justified in that. So I have a problem with calling things. Right? I care more about what things are or what is happening.
The experience of it.
The experience of it.
That's a fair point.
It is. Because I was having this conversation with somebody recently after I met somewhere, and I was the statement that was made right after this event was that we are doing too much, all in the name of keeping the youth in the church.
Yeah.
We're talking about these events now. Stay tuned.
So I'm like, so then
Bring
she
it on.
then says. Or then she then sends a picture to me and it says, church is not made to accommodate us by incorporating things of the world, just to try and make us feel comfortable. If you feel like your church is not for the youth because they are too strict or they are too boring or traditional, then I have news for you. God is everywhere, yes. But at the same time, some practices of Christianity are sacred and spiritual. A church asking you to be respectful, to come to church on time, or to observe it is not boring. It's just how the church is made up. You've been corrupted by the world, and you're looking for worldly places or worldly worship in a holy place.
That's exactly my point.
Interesting
But
point.
at the same time,
At the same time,
at the same time, why is it that we find it hard? And I'll say this to you and me, KG. To move from SDASM experience to church experience. Different things. And I find that the SDASM we're coming from, very strict SDASM.
But very fun.
Very fun. But very, like,
In line with
there are times where
Doctrines and teachings.
yeah, there are things where it would happen. I remember would have PCM recently, where SDASM will sit down and say, we're not going to PCM because the pastors are doing ungodly things at the pulpit. Right? So the SDASM is at vets were very strict to say, you know what? But it was fun, and it was hard for us to move on to find. But it was fun. But they would call out a pastor to say, if that pastor is preaching, we're not coming because he says ungodly things in the pulpit.
Yeah.
So here's my point. I hear you, my leader. I believe in a church that is not compromising, but also very progressive.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. In 2010, when was Facebook established?
Before that.
It started
2008, 2007.
somewhere around there. When Facebook became a thing, our parents told us blatantly that this thing is evil. It's of the
Demons.
devil. But today, even the world church is on Facebook. You can follow them. You know, the leaders of the world church are on Facebook. You can follow them. Why? So that's my point. Let's be progressive and not compromise what church entails.
So I agree with you, right? And I'm going back to this event that I went to, and I was having a conversation because I always say you need to open a platform for views and the comments, whatever, from the people who attended the event, right? And then have a discussion with whoever the planning team is and the pastors and so forth, and find a way forward, right? So I always say have a discussion-based thing. I am very big on hearing what the people want, because you need to give the people what they want without compromising.
The people don't know what they want.
Listen, they actually do, right? I just feel like the interpretation of what they want is where we lose it. Right? So we have a discussion and we say, okay, for this event, we would like for us, because we are paying a certain amount of money, we would like for the program to go this way. So have more music and prayer points or prayer whatever, and not have the discussion-based things. They don't want that. So I think we need to open a space where the youth can come to the pastors or to the leadership and say, we would like for you guys to do 1, 2, 3 so that we feel included. And then the pastors and the elders and everything must go together, sit down and say, okay, how do we study this? How do we make it progressive, and how do we then make it interesting for the people to actually see it? Because you guys want to force it down their throat, say, this thing, do this. I'm not gonna. If you're forcing it to me, it's literally not gonna go. It's not gonna get in. It's going to bounce. You understand? So we need to find ways. So it goes back to sitting down, having different people in your teams of different age groups and different ideas, and trying to find a way to incorporate the ideas from the young people and then make it work and not compromise the church and what the church stands for. That's what I think.
It's I hear what you're saying, right? But it's hard to move from what I've always known to be true. Right. And I have had these arguments a lot at home. Like when we joined this church, like this is how it was, right? Like you guys
are not the church of my grandmother.
Like we have diverted. Like this is not the Adventist church that I know of. So, so I think the question is: have we lost it? So most of them, when they try to, to be clingy to this thing, it's, we don't want to lose essence of Adventism at the same time. But also at the same time, we don't know what is important to Advent. I think we should sit down and say, this is what is important. These are the fundamentals, right? And if this is what is important, this is what we can't lose. And maybe we afraid that things can start crawling in by these small things. But we need to see what's important to us and what's church dogma. What's biblical and what's church dogma.
So exactly, the key question: what is important to us? Is that I think the underlying thing. So for a church or for a church, the question you must ask is: what is important to us? Is it the church mission, goals, whatever, or is it the members in the church? Because you then say this thing of saying the church is a hospital.
Where patients don't get discharged.
It's not a hospital, it's a church.
Guys,
It's a church.
in a hospital, you need to be discharged.
What do you guys want? Do you want the members to stay the way they are, or do you want the members to go and be spiritually grow, or do you want them to, or do you want the members to just listen to you and what you're saying and they go home? Do you want the church to grow, with the sense of want the church to grow? Which way do you want the church to grow? Is it spiritually? Is it financially? Is it just we just want the church to grow? Which one is it? Tell us.
But I mean, I can flip that thing, right? When you say the church is it's a hospital, right? I can say that when this youth, they are confused. They will, you know what? They want fun and everything. Here we are here for reverence and everything, right? We can, but also there's the issue of growth, right? Let me say the church has lost what it is for. Like, I don't know if the conference or the GC have a mandate to say as the church, this is what we really need. Because we find that different churches have different objectives and structures, and you see they're like some churches, they have culture. Some churches, being wealthy, it's frowned upon. Right? And some churches we push that everyone should be involved in economic activities and be managed and everything. So it all comes down to even what the church itself locally decides, or as a church. So I think maybe things should happen to
this is our ethos.
So now it goes back to, you're saying local. Then we have things that include all of us. All the local churches in jail, as the youth were coming. And like you're saying, I'm from one church where they tell me, must make money. This one is saying you need to grow spiritually. So it must have fun. Right? And we're all coming there to one space. That's my question. We're coming to one space. What are then the people who are bringing all of us into one space gonna let me tell you a story. I grew up in Venda, like you all know.
Back at home.
If you know, guys, I'm an 18-year-old who grew up in Venda, where, you can't even short sleeve here. You they'll give you a shot. I come to SDASM. I got a shock of my life. Right? SDASM changed my perspective of Adventism. I saw things that were not normal. When from home they were not Adventist, they wouldn't look normal. Then I had to ask myself, is it important? It's not it was not the fact that they were immodest. They were modest, but it was just that the way we did it at home was on a different level, right? Then I had to re-engage with these things and understand that maybe, perhaps, it now comes to an individual to reassess themselves, to understand where they are. And I always say this thing when we come to modesty, right? To say it is important to be modest, but also modest has to do with where you are.
100%.
Right.
So here's my point, Bazalwan. I'm saying, just regarding that, you asked what's the most important thing, right? for me, the most important thing is for people to have an encounter with Jesus
Hallelujah.
and a relationship with Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Jesus does the changing. Let us not give people mechanisms and prescriptives as to how they should do things. If Christ is in them and they have a true encounter with Jesus and they read the word, they will know.
So
How do we then talk about rebuke? How do you rebuke someone?
before we get there, answer
Like-
yeah, one by one. When we are coming, different churches are coming there, and we're coming as because we all have different mindsets, like you're saying. But from different churches telling us this is our mission and objectives and everything. How do we then make sense?
Compromise.
Who's compromising?
All of us.
Let me
Compromise what?
Let me put it.
The non-fundamentals.
You know what happens when you don't have an active program of catering to this group of people that we're talking about.
Right.
You're going to overcompensate. And
Yes.
It's gonna show. So when you do that gathering of all the youth together in one place, there will be something that you do that you haven't consulted them on. Right? Because it's not a consultative process in its nature.
It's
That you just put it together and you hope
Yeah.
that because you've done this overcompensation, they will like it.
Yeah.
And they don't like it.
And that's why we
And most
goes
of them
back to
don't
this.
like it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that goes back to this thing of putting programs, or
Vegan
putting,
chicken.
putting places, and putting things in place at local church where it includes the young people, so that by the time and this goes back to if you're in whatever the planning of these events, right? You must engage with the people of the church.
Yeah.
Meaning you must go to the local churches and say, hello, hi.
What are you
I want to include you in these programs. What are your needs and wants? And then you collect. It's literally doing, the point where they do the census at the houses. The data collection, you need to do it. Very important. I think they've set a blank eye on us.
No,
And then when it comes, they have.
I don't think that's the
When it comes
case.
to the big events, you then want to include us.
I don't think
And
that's the
program
case, right?
doesn't cater for us, actually.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think maybe we're failing as a local church ourselves, or rather the people who are elected. Right? Programs are elected by people we choose.
True.
Right? So if we look at the structure, we have a youth leader. The youth leader, we hope to take the mandate of the local church as the youth to come to the district level where they will elect the youth committee of that district. So we hope that each church will have a representation that would get to cater for, because we cannot hear everyone's words. Right? We cannot speak. I cannot come to speak to Nanne, Mfundisi, Kahano. Like, I'll hope that Kahano, as the youth leader of Church A, will speak to his youth and get an understanding from a report to say, as the youth of Church A, we have decided that this is what we would want. When Kahano goes to the district level, the district will then sit and say, okay, we consolidate what the youth want and go up. Maybe our leaders are the ones that are failing us, or maybe they are not structured. I'm just assuming. I've never been in church leadership.
Okay. I agree with you when you're saying that there's a problem somewhere in the leadership, right? Because you're right. The youth leader will be elected. The youth leader will then in January or February say, okay guys, hi, I'm the new youth leader. What do you guys want to see happen, right? What you want to see happen, you're going to do it at your church. But I feel like you must then take it to the district and say, this is what we're doing at our church. I think you should also then go speak to your youth and see how they see about it. Then implement. If they like it, they do it then. And then what I think is we have as the leaders, we must sit down, right, and say, at our church we're doing 1, 2, 3. What are you guys doing? Oh, we like this. Let's try and bring it to our youth. Oh, we're trying to do this. Take it to your youth and say, okay, at other churches they're doing 1, 2, 3. How do you feel about it? Do you want to do it? Do you want to engage in it? I think let us have a mandate where we communicate and say, hey, our church says so by the moment you then plan a big event, you know that this church has done 1, 2, 3, this church has done 1, 2, 3, what is aligned, what is the same, what is the thing, whatever, and then we make our program.
So what I'm saying at the same time, Nanne, is because the people that we elect, right, and this is an assumption, I will only know until district level what I'll be like. To say the people that we elect are the people that go and sit in these district committees.
So, Bazalwane, what if
Right.
the youth as a leader say, we want a speed braai, we want a Braai Pork?
Okay,
No, that's the fundamental, right?
No, your constituency says, your constituency all agree. Maybe you do a Google form and they say, we want a speed braai and we want pork.
I think
What are you gonna say? And then they tell you, if you're not doing this for us, then we're not coming to church.
Then no, it's okay. We don't compromise on fundamentals.
Remember he said the non-fundamentals.
We're talking about non-fundamental. Whether or
The
not,
non-fundamentals end up being fundamentals.
no.
they're conflated into being, because really things like a church says we want to, for instance, have a band in our church, and we are going to drive it as the young people. We're going to find the resources, we're going to drive it as the young people. We're going to make praise and worship nice, we're going to buy all the equipment, and we're going to make
Drums
it nice.
and all that.
Yes, yes.
It's kind of the point.
In fact, if studied correctly, you would find that there's no contradiction of anything.
Yeah, David, the song says, David play on your harp. Come on, it was the instrument, guys.
But it wasn't a drum.
Come on.
Anyways.
Being facetious sometimes, I think, when we judge how certain churches move and operate, because at the same time, we need to realize that they have mission objectives underlying every part of their worship service. And so if we're going to say, no, we must ignore the youth completely on those matters, which is what sometimes happens. We must ignore them, not even compromise to the point of saying, okay, at least we'll let you get a bass guitar and a keyboard. If we're not going to go the full 100 miles. That conversation even is difficult to have. I think the thing here is there's a growing concern that the young people make suggestions.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, they don't use the correct forums to make them, because they're not in the forum for some of the occasions. I mean, they can't sit on board meetings. Some of them are not baptized. There's a whole lot of barriers to them raising their concerns in the formal ways, right? But when they do raise their concerns, whichever ways they do, they are, I think,
met with resistance.
Yeah, met with resistance. And then it goes to the formal event, which is just a facade, because now you're addressing issues that you don't have a personal touch with. Right?
Yeah. Leadership. You spoke about having to compensate so much for what you accommodate, right? Let's say you accommodate a full band. Okay? You're not going to be able to control how people react to the band. Okay? And let's address the elephant in the room, the dancing. The dancing that goes out of hand. You can't say, I'm having a band, and the youth say we want to have an authentic worship experience. And if I'm dancing for my Lord in this way, who are you really to tell me that now you're being extreme? Because the band is there, everything is there.
And David dance for the Lord.
I even think young people themselves are intelligent enough to know when they are pushing the boundaries. And they do. I'm not saying they don't. They know when they are pushing the boundaries. I kid you not.
No, they see. So there's this thing, right? It happens with every child. They want to know where
the test.
Where you draw the line. How far can we push the line? Like how far can we push the line? No, it's in every child.
Yeah, so with everything. I think even with the band, right? I think if you're going to invite a band, you know. I keep saying you know. If you're going to invite a band with everything, you know what the people are going to do, how they're going to react to a band, right? Because they've seen it, they know it. Even with the group, if the group is going to come there and they're going to make you dance, you've done it. I really feel like people who invite groups, the elders, they know the type of group they're inviting, they know what the this is how they sound, the music they make.
Yeah.
So you can't.
And how they entertain
yes, how they make it. So if you see a poster of this group there, and then you go there and you hear this group doing what they're known for, and then you're gonna complain, I have a problem with you because you saw it.
brought them here.
And also you paid, knowing very well that this group is gonna be there. That's my thing, do you understand? So
Your vetting process.
you can't.
Because you're overcompensating.
You overcompensate. That's my thing. If you're going to invite a group or a speaker who you've seen videos of, because I mean, let's say God forbid, I don't know this person. I'm gonna go and say, oh, who's this pastor? Go to YouTube and say, oh, listen, YouTube is fun. TikTok, I say TikTok, say, Nanne. Oh, Nanne speaks like this. Nanne sounds like this. Nanne does 1, 2, 3. Okay, do I want to really go and hear Nanne? You make the decision, and then if you go there, don't complain. Don't complain. You actually you can. Let me not say don't complain. You can, but don't make it an us problem.
It's a you problem.
But it goes back to them also overcompensating because they haven't had the conversation with the youth and saying, actually, for this group, for this event, who would you like to see? Do you understand? And then they will take it to the researchers and everything, say, okay, do we want this guy? Is this? And that's what I'm saying, the kids, give the kids a voice, right? And then once you've given the kids the voice, you go to the leadership or wherever, you have a discussion on this, on these people, and see if they are fit enough for the program.
But that's my problem, guys. When we make church an event, and when we make preachers speakers, for me, it becomes a gig. As a pastor, I'll tell you, I try to run away from making my preaching appointment gigs, in a sense that I know maybe, for an example, such and such a church that is affluent is going to give me 5K, as opposed to a church, Ekasi, which is not going to give me anything, and decide whether I want to go to that church. I feel like a lot is done without prayer. And when prayer doesn't go into the planning and the execution, then a lot goes wrong. And that is when we get people now who are complaining that the preacher under-delivered.
Or was doing too much.
Oh, it was too much.
So, like you say, that's you're right. The foundation should be God, right? And God in the prayer, right? So you pray about it. And then once you pray about it, you also then say, guys, the Holy Spirit or the people are saying this. Does it align with what we want to push? Do you understand? The strategic. And that it goes back to this thing doesn't, it should, like you say, it's not an event, right? And that's why I say continuously doing. That's why the problem with the word expo. It has to be a continuous thing as to, fine, you know the event is happening in December. I'm going to use December. From January the next year, you must engage with the youth or the people of the church. And in the sense that, okay, you say youth leader for the conference or whatever. You say, guys, at your churches, I want you to be doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so that by the time we come to December, we're in alignment. So that's one thing, it must be a continuous thing. At the local churches, you must emphasize that, okay, the youth are known for 1, 2, 3. How can we include you in the programs? How can it must be a continuous thing. Don't make it seem, because you're gonna make it seem like we are asking for a lot. Really not. We're just asking to be included.
100%. 100%.
You're seeing a lot of interesting dialogue coming out of the church as it is currently because of the preeminence and kind of push of social media, where there's a lot more negative media towards the church. Look, we're not negative media towards the church. We love
Oh my gosh.
We love the Lord as well. But there's a certain growing push of a lot of hate media actually as well towards the church. And some of it is driven by young people who've been disenfranchised by the church in certain aspects.
Some of it,
some of it is driven by pastors who've not been met with the expectations that they had when starting out their pastoral degrees. I mean, think about it in those terms. And so you realize that there's a silence to addressing those matters. and those are matters that are missional. Like they deserve to be heard, because one thing that happens is if we have a level of arrogance in leadership to say no, we are protecting our brand, we don't want to entertain or to engage with parties that dissent, then you are creating a situation that renders you Sanhedrin-like, right? And that's very dangerous, because when that happens, you know that there's a revolution bubbling under the surface, right? Which is basically what Jesus came to do, but we're not there.
Hey,
Yeah.
because
He was.
It's challenging, because also what happens is you focus too much on the structure of the system, that you forget the people of the system. And when structure becomes your most important thing to say, no, here you do things structurally like this, and you neglect some of the cries of the people, hey, you run into problems fast in a hurry, and we've seen it.
It's happening.
So I'm just saying, look, can we do away with the idea that the people that are maybe dissenting, right, have, and most of them don't have a negative agenda. They just want the accountability and transparency and the what is this, the data for the church to be able to see what the needs are and execute on them. And
you can execute them in a way that is very spiritual.
yeah. So let's
In a way where they're going to
Yeah.
grow, in a way that they're going to engage. And I'm listening to this based off, you guys want the youth to be going to afternoon programs, right? I'm just giving an example. Do you cater for them in the afternoon program? Or it's just,
They must be there.
They must be there. And when they get there, it's just like, why am I here?
Then we are talking about Prophecy, 144,000.
No, you can't do that. You know, guys, it's part of your guys' thing, right? It's part of us. You know, getting it clear up. It's very important. Like, I'm not going to say those discussions are important.
Yeah.
But how do you go about teaching it to the youth? For me, I'm saying we can have that conversation. Have somebody who I can relate to teach me that thing. Make it so relatable to me that I'm like, hey, actually,
That's
like you
interesting.
want more about this. Just that don't give it to me how they gave it to you back then. It's not, give it to me relatably. That's what I'm saying. Because those are important topics, very important. You need to know. I don't think the youth of today, I'm talking about the teenagers, they don't know those things. They don't know that. That's the 7 pillars we almost got attacked there at some church, you know? We don't know those things. They don't know it. Do you understand? So make it in a point where we sit down with the youth and say, how would you like us to tackle this topic?
And how is it applicable?
How is it?
Exactly.
How is it applicable to our lives?
Do you understand?
Like studying
Don't
church
just
history.
give me.
That you must know. What is it that I should do about what I know?
If you're gonna sit there and lecture me, I won't hear you. It's a lot of information at once.
So, Mina, let's come back to this one on entertainment. I believe that, I don't know, the things of God, when done in God's way, will bring about a certain stimulation, spiritual appetite and stimulation in us, whether we're young or old or whatever. Because this is God's program. Let's not be rigid. Let's be fluid. Let's keep the synergy, but also at the same time.
Keep the standard.
Yeah.
And that's true. I was like,
how about we pray for 30 minutes? You know.
You don't force the whole.
How about we don't have a sermon? We have praise, worship, prayer.
Testimony.
And that's something we need to be so relevant to us. Show us, let us have an encounter with God. I think it goes back to when we first met, right, at that church in Edenville. I had an encounter with God again when we were praying. Right? Yes, you preached a beautiful sermon. But the prayer for me was where I was like, hey, Jesus, do you understand? So, like you're saying, it goes back to the data collection. I said, okay, how do you really want to go about this church thing, right? But also remember that the church is structured like this.
To minister and do mission towards a certain group of people, you need to care about them.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. And so,
People's needs are different.
but at least
The
you need to
general
care.
needs. I think there's always going to be 80%. The 80% is
Who makes the 80%? Is it the 80? What 80% are we talking about?
those who come. Let's say we're having the discussion. I'm a youth leader, right? Okay, I was a youth leader, and I can stand firmly. Y'all can come in there, but it's in leadership. Like and we were not. And what I liked about the era when I was in leadership, we didn't work as a team. We were having with like 6 of us, right? 3 for ambassadors, 3 for the youth, but we came together and we make it work, right? What I'm saying is that we came in January and we said, hi guys, we need leadership, man. Share us in town. What would you like? They state. We go and delegate. Okay, this is what they want. You delegate these things. And guys, I at that point was like, I can do this for the next 3 years, which I did. Do you understand? Because I was like, it's a lot of work. I'm not like, it's a lot of work. But the moment you see the youth engaging, the youth coming to the programs, we had afternoon program, and afternoon program was led by the youth. We had conversations where we spoke about finances. We had conversations where we spoke about dating, because that is a thing. We had conversations about it's always a thing. We had conversations about marriages. We had conversations about single parent homes. We had the conversations of things that affect the youth, that affect the youth currently, right? And then we led Sabbath opening because we saw the need for that. Do you understand? We saw the need for that. So if you need to go there with the mindset that I'm part of these people. I've been part of the struggle. What do I want to do differently? When you still consult, you have to consult the leadership. So you say, hi guys, we had a meeting with the youth and this is what they have on the table. Can we get the approval? And once you get the approval,
you know, I've never been in church leader. I've never been, you know, it's very funny. No, I would never. Not that I would never. I've been traumatized from the outside. So I've led unofficially. Right, I'm that kind of person who I've been leading the church, not being in the. So I've like the background guy, right? So I was home recently.
Hey, back at home.
So sometimes I think I blame the youth, right?
Sure.
I was at home.
Sure.
They were like, okay, we need to do this event. So I'm at Joburg, right?
Yeah.
I got added to a WhatsApp group. They're like, hey, we're planning an outing for the youth, right? Fine, sharp. I'm like, okay, the youth leaders should do everything. I get home, the Sabbath before the event. The event we're going on Monday, I think. I'm called to the office. Hey, let's go to the office and discuss this thing. I'm like, who am I? Like, but like, it's neither there nor there. Then I get there, I find out that, the youth didn't talk to the church leadership.
That's a problem.
The youth is getting there like, we're asking money. I'm like, okay, then I get there, I'm like, I hear the youth is asking money. The church is like, church board, this thing needs to go through church board. Like, why? So sometimes, right, and this is where I wanted to go, to when I asked, who is the majority, right? Sometimes the things we do, what if what entertains me offends Kahano and Mfundis?
That's why, guys, and I'm going to bring it back to my personal experience.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
We don't have this discussion once in the beginning. So you're being told in November that, again, you're going to be in leadership. And then you're like, okay, you put in the group chat with the committees and everything. You continuously engage these people. You need to engage. So you engage with them from December till February, because in February you're going to say, first Sabbath of February, you have a meeting, bring your ideas. But you've already done what? You've already told them from December that you can hint, you can send a message to either of us what you want in the thingy. It's engagement. You guys will talk to these people so that you know. And one thing, you need to go with the majority. That's the one I've learned.
True.
Majority is not always right.
Listen, And the majority being the people who attend. So
Okay.
if I say we have a meeting on the 1st of February
Yeah.
and 5 people arrive,
We're school.
that is my majority.
Quorum.
Huh?
Quorum.
That's my quorum. That's my quorum. And then we will then go back to the group chat. We say these are the minutes of the meeting we had on
Reach the quorum.
Saturday. Do you guys agree with it? Would you like to add something? Would you like to remove something? If there's no comment within
Feedback.
a week of feedback, we move with it. And then, from what I know, when you're leadership, you then take the plans that you have for the year to the church board and say, these are plans. We are going to come and ask for money at some point.
Bazalwane.
I think-
With your example, they were wrong about it because clearly they didn't have it. Number one, it's not in their plan. In their plan they did something. Guys, you can't just say rock up and say you're planning an event with whose money? That's not so that's why the plan is important. So you give them the plan in January or February so that they already prepare their minds when they're gonna come and say, hey, remember we said on the 15th of June we want money. They're able to take it out. So the channels, okay.
So for me, guys, I hear the program planning and all that. Yes, it is correct. My thing is that we need to initiate young people to Jesus, man. I grew up in a community that was filled with Pentecostals. And shout out to our Pentecostal friends. Those people pray, man. You'll never find a Pentecostal young man or woman saying prayer is boring.
Hey.
You'll never, even if they do hikes. I've attended one. They do prayer walks.
Yes.
Okay, we don't do that. But the way they pray in such a way that they walk around and they do their thing. And it's not boring to those young people. It's not boring. So why? Because they've been initiated to Jesus. So if you get young people to know who Jesus is and to learn how to pray and to have faith, then none of the things that we regard as boring will be boring to them. Yeah,
that's
we can have our programs, we can have hikes, we can have camps, we can have whatever. But if our young people are initiated into prayer and Jesus and fasting and believing in Jesus and spirituality, then I believe we have won them.
Yeah, so that goes back, guys, again, goes back to the objection and the vision of that leadership at the time, right? You say, guys, hello, we're here to grow you spiritually, help you financially at some point, help you whatever, but the core basis of what we are trying to do is you to have an encounter with God, right? So for me, it must be always encounter with God, and how can we go about having this encounter with God? Is it through music? Is it through prayer? Is it through sermons? Is it through discussions? But the encounter with God is the main thing.
You need to have.
You have to have it. So
And think of it this way. Maybe I might sound a bit shallow or too pastory, I don't know. But we're going to heaven, guys, and we're going to spend eternity there.
Yes.
And the only thing you're going to be doing in heaven is by saying, you are holy, Lord God Almighty.
and also, if you can't handle the Sabbath and what the Sabbath has now,
How are you going
heaven's gonna
to
be
maintain that
difficult for
space?
you, right? You're not gonna survive.
So our young people, all in all, should not have a problem with worship, prayer, studying the Bible.
No, I don't think we have problem with worship.
Aye, Bazalwane.
Listen, it's a tricky one, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
So I know two extremes, right? And I speak to both of them.
Same.
We have had extremes where there's gatekeeping to platforms. We have had experience where there's laziness,
Hey.
right? So we find that there's a church where the youth want to participate, but they're not given chance.
Hey.
And you find an opportunity where you find churches where the elders want the youth to participate,
But the
but the
youth
youth
is not-
don't
not
want to
where to
participate. Like I've seen them all. Like I've seen them all. I've seen times where like elders will come and say, yeah, next week it's youth program. Like, or they just like, you know what, we can give you the whole month to do whatever you want. And you find like there's no one is coming to the party.
Find out why is that.
Right.
It goes back to finding out why is that. Guys.
Then you have found where programs where the youth comers were like, we want to do this program. The others were like, no, we cannot do like They gatekeep. So we have those things. We have those extremes, right? And we need to address them both. Our youth needs to be active. They just don't need to complain.
Yeah.
And when we give them a platform, they fall back, right?
Yeah.
They need to engage. They need to be active. Our parents, on the other hand, needs to allow us to engage. They need to give us a platform to engage. So it's on all of us.
So you know what I'm thinking?
Yes, Nanne.
In churches, my advice to you.
Now,
And listen
we
to
need
me.
solutions.
Let's these afternoon programs, actually communication day. Right? Communication day. You say, sit there, we say we're having a discussion. We are all here. Because you know what I'm saying, during the day, let's have it before 12. Because after 12, and I yesterday heard we are Sabbath keepers and they are Adventists. Which one are you? so you have to do it in the morning when we still have their attention span, right? We sit and we say, hello guys, hello. Now we want to hear we're going to communicate what does the youth want, what do the elders want, what do the old people want, how are we going to make this work for both of us or for all parties involved. Do you understand? Have the conversation, let the people, whoever's jotting down, jot down, but then it goes back to the data collection. You need to be able to collect the data when you have the people's attention, and you don't have the people's attention in the afternoon.
True.
So then those things will be addressed. The extremists of who are not participating, it's like, oh my gosh, this is boring. And then you're gonna have the people like, oh, we want to be involved, but we're not being included. In that before 12, I'm telling you guys.
But let's be like God. You know, God is unconventional, yet He doesn't change.
True.
You know, it's an oxymoron. God is unorthodox, yet you know He has got His set of laws and doing things. You know, so we shouldn't divert from the truth, but we don't have to do things in a certain way. We can be unconventional.
Remember what I said in the beginning, right?
Jesus broke protocol, guys.
Yeah,
He
we
healed
can
on Sabbath.
break all these.
Remember what I said in the beginning. They are fundamentals.
Yes.
They are things that
That we
define
compromise on.
who we are.
And then their traditions.
They are traditions.
I'm neither here nor there.
They,
Yes, they keep the culture and the
Alive,
fiber alive. But really, you don't have to change all of them.
Yeah.
But on certain days, there's no need for them to all be there.
But I agree with you. That's what I'm saying at 12 o'clock. Guys, imagine you going to visit a church and then they're asking you for your opinion. Guys, I will be the one to speak. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're giving me a platform today. And I know I'm not speaking for myself. That's the thing. I wouldn't be speaking for myself. I'll be speaking for people. I'm very active on social media, so I'm seeing this thing on a daily basis. So, okay. And when I said active, I read comments. So when this event happened, I was reading the comments. 1,000 comments, I went through them. So I'm like, okay. And that's how I keep saying, guys, invite me on your panels for planning.
So we need kind of like an audit.
An audit. Yes.
Of certain events.
Everything, guys.
The last thing I want to
It's a business. You guys say the church is a company. Do you audit? Are you just auditing the principles?
Hey, let's not speak for them, guys.
For myself. I feel like they don't auditing us. I genuinely, I feel like you must check in on your people as well. You must check in and say, okay, where are you lacking? How are you lacking? We can't always say let's be on the deacons and the deaconesses.
There's that thing where something happened, and I'm gonna close with this. There was this gathering of young people, and it was only discovered in the gathering that, especially in this country, young people, even those who are working, are not only working, but they are also enterprising, meaning they're running businesses on the side.
Right.
And there's no support structure
At all
for that. Until now that they realize, and all these people that came here, right, to this event, yes, some of them paid for themselves to be here, but like they are doing other things to keep themselves sustained in life. And actually the common stats, the global stat is that currently we have 85% less purchasing power than our parents did. So whatever, and the salaries haven't been adjusted for inflation at all. So the fact is that younger people are poorer than their adults by comparison. Right? And there's a church that continuously expects
Money.
and the same church will not support.
Doesn't require you to be poor.
Our church, guys, you
You can't be poor here.
can't.
The same church, the entire 15 years past of planning programs of this nature, have never come up with a strategy to assist young entrepreneurs who are fledgling in business. Some young entrepreneurs, obviously, they don't have their compliance things in order. Yes, they need to be educated on that. Some young people, yes, they're doing it on the fly. They have no idea what they're doing, but they're trying to survive because they have less purchasing power than their adults. And the adults seem to think that young people
I'm
spend.
not paying the time.
Also that's an issue. And then they also tend to think that they are frivolous with economics, which is not the case. And more and more you think that young people will be spending money on their entertainment. I'm here to tell you, the church must provide entertainment, because entertainment has a personal budget. You must have entertainment in a personal budget, right? Young people don't have the time for entertainment. They don't have funds for entertainment. And the thing is, the overwhelming majority of them seek the church to provide avenues for entertainment, at least in the form of hiking, at least in the form of relief entertainment, not necessarily
Groove.
or degrading entertainment. No, not that. Relief entertainment, musical programs. And I'm glad there are some churches that are providing concerts or forms of concerts
Recreation.
for free and certain evenings and things like that. That's progressive, because now if we're always going to be charged for things, charged for this, charged for this, it's a lot, guys, and we're compromising the appetite for young people to contribute to the church when you do that, because now, yes, they contribute, although I believe most grudgingly. I do not believe in this economic situation. I believe that there's a lot of demands on young people thinking they have the same purchasing power as the adults did a long time ago, which comes back to this point where we're not doing a survey as to what is
happening,
making the young people in their corporate job. Because what you will then quickly realize is that you have this demand, right, for these astronomical amounts of cash. All through the year. A cousin of mine was telling me that for me to be an Adventist, right, in my budget I must have at least 5K put aside to be able to fulfill my social need.
5K?
The need
A month.
Kenya.
A year. Okay, yeah.
It's less than.
to fund, it's even small.
less.
To fund
5K for 6 months.
Camps, DASA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To fund your social need to be involved. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The need to be involved, the need to be included, the need to be belong.
Also,
To fund that, you need at least 5K.
for the first, and I'm telling you now,
Yo.
we're in July, rats.
Yeah, the events now coming up.
No, we're very big into events. I think, and you're saying you want us to come to your programs because they look entertaining, they look lovely.
Yeah.
It's going to fulfill my that need that I need for the gospel, the dancing. I need that to survive for my mental health. I need it. But I'm like, 300 grand, sure, I'll pay it. Then the next 2 months down, like another one, I'm like, and I must still have an outfit. It's a lot, guys. It's a little outfit, Nanne.
I
You're right. How can we meet these people on their financial crisis, or how can we make it easier for them? And that goes back to the conversation as to.
But who needs to fund these things?
Huh?
No, just a question. Just a young question. Who needs to fund these things?
I'm running on funds. Here.
There are funds that go up. These young people, it's not that they are. Yes, I know.
Kahano. Okay. You and I have sat down.
Yes.
Planned for events.
Yes.
We saw how money needs to come when events needs to happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We saw how stressful that can be.
Yes.
Who needs to fund these things?
Kahano's not saying when he's saying have events that are free, I'm not saying book an event. Use the local church. Use what the church has and just say,
Guys, nothing is free.
No,
There is
absolutely
no, economics says there is no free lunch.
Okay, Peter.
Right.
Then tell me.
So, listen. And I'm not saying this in any way, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying, even if we say an event is free, someone is paying something.
That's true.
that's okay.
That's true.
Right? So we need to know that person who's sponsoring the event. One way or another.
Yeah.
A pastor, a preacher, if for example we're saying we need an event, a preacher could be sponsoring the event.
Yeah.
In another, he could be transporting himself there.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
sponsoring the event,
Yeah.
right? So we're asking, where should the sponsorship come from? Should it come from the church coffers? Should it come from our parents? Should we go and solicit money outside? Like, where should we find funds?
Okay, Peter, and here's the thing, right? There is a disproportionate nature in the way the funding things happen.
Okay?
Right? There's contributions that go up, free wills that go up.
Yeah. And when we take them up,
Yeah,
we
they're
no,
not
listen.
ours anymore.
We say they are going for a certain purpose.
Yes, we say they're going for a certain purpose and they're not ours anymore.
Yes.
Hallelujah. What is still now? What is my
You need
point?
to play.
So the funds go up, but in disproportionate measure, the programming that comes down requires you to always, kind of like be always ready to pop out,
Yo.
which is disproportionate
So
to
what I'm saying, KG, right? I'm trying to be the devil's advocate.
Okay.
You know your prophet also.
You know
We need
what?
to baptize you, my brother.
I'm trying to speak with Gaza in this committee here. Gaza needs to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that needs to eat.
Gaza needs to be paid.
Yes.
Right? And we decide that as we contribute to these coffers,
Yeah.
we are saying Gaza and his wife and kids
Yeah.
must have food.
Sure.
They are for that. All right? We can give subsidies there and there, right? But we're saying an event, a weekend's event, depending on the number of people, it's a lot of thousands.
Definitely.
It's a lot of, it's upward of hundreds of thousands, right? Do you think we have enough reserves for that? Do you think we will have enough reserves? Is it sustainable?
The amount of money we
Yeah.
squandered suggests that.
No, okay. That's another thing. Like it's another issue of squandering and misuse of funds and
If you
everything.
want the people to have an encounter with God, you're gonna have to cough out the money.
Who?
Right? Listen.
It's an evangelism mechanism.
Thank you. Guys,
We do crusades.
No.
the fact that we want the youth to stay in the church.
Huh?
The church must cough out money for the youth to stay in the church. So this thing of who's going to sponsor is the church.
Why?
We will justify if others to put a proposal as to why they must cough out. We can. We will draft it, but the truth, must bring it. We're gonna bring it to the church and say, meet us halfway.
The church has every church. I'm assuming, and this is just me.
There's something I think is wrong.
No, let me speak. Right, I have not finished, and I'm assuming because as I said, I don't know how these things work. I'm looking at it from the outside. I like to believe we have budgets.
Yes, they do.
Every department
Has a budget.
has a budget.
Yes.
Internal churches, but that's
Yes, but can they say they're supposed to?
That's why I'm saying
Yes.
I'm assuming every department has a budget. The youth is a department.
True.
It has, and I mean, you guys, I don't even understand. Like you complain, but the leader is there in the church board. Like even when these budgets are decided, you agree, right? And now you come to complain to us, but you had agreed. The person we elected has agreed to say, you know what, this is the budget. The youth will get 1K this year. I'm just saying.
Very possible.
No, but let's not be unrealistic. The youth will pay. They'll
Yeah.
source
We're not saying
out
they're not
something.
gonna pay.
Okay?
We will.
But people will pay for something that's valuable.
Thank
That's
you.
what I've discovered. if it's not well planned, well executed,
That's what's
no
better.
proper objectives, they don't know what's happening, then they're not gonna pay.
But
They'd rather,
don't you think we always say this thing in hindsight that I wasted my money going to that event?
yeah,
Yes, because
it's your money.
No, in most cases we don't know what is in store, or rather, after we are there, we're like, hey, Jesus, it was not worth it.
But to build a reputation
Yes.
for programming, Dylan, you
Yes.
have to build that reputation, build that trust to say every time young people come to this particular event, it does not have to be inflated in their expensiveness of it.
No.
It just has to provide the spirituality
For me,
and the
that's-
social.
Another thing that is not in the table that I would just want to say out there,
the next conversation.
guys, Fundesi and your people, stop stealing money.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I hear you.
Yeah.
And for me, I think my closing remarks, Nick, is we must strike a balance.
Yeah.
I think and currently we're
Wow.
failing to strike the balance between keeping these people, for lack of a better word,
Engaged.
engaged and having the encounter with God. Because we're struggling to find the balance. If you find the balance, guys, we're good.
Amen.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
a perfect place to
Amen.
start the conversation.
Amen.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe,
Comment.
comment.